Wow, this is our 11th episode. And again, we will have somebody who will share her thoughts, her views, her practice in online learning. Hello, Miss Olive. Welcome to this mini sharing session. Tell us something about yourself.
Pikachu, would you like to introduce yourself? Pika. Ako nga pala si Miss Olive Abarquez. I'm a New York City public school teacher teaching 2nd grade and 3rd grade special education class.
Wow, talagang napukaw ang aming atensyon dahil kay Pikachu. I think that in itself is a strategy. Tama ba?
Obviously, props ko siya to get the attention of our very young learners. We have to find a way to keep our students engaged, and one of which is that we have to change the way we present ourselves online. And eto, Pikachu to siya ng anak ko. Ginamit ko siyang props. O, diba? I get your attention. Sa maliliit na mga learners, this is really something that they can relate to. Naisip ko nga, baka bibili pa ako ng maraming staff figures para meron namang variety, hindi lang si Pikachu or si Sonic, diba?
Correct. Sa bahay natin, madaming ang mga props. We can always use it, even the toys of our children. And we could also shop for more. Okay, ready na tayo sa tips. Ito na po.
The first tip that I'm going to share with you is something that we already know, and that is to keep our online class organized and manageable. Sa totoo lang, maraming estudyante na ma-overwhelm dito sa remote learning kasi nga we're not together physically to help them whenever they want to complete something.
Okay lang ba mag-assign ng mas maraming work? Nasa bahay lang naman and they're there the whole day. Pwede ba yon?
Assigning too much work with too little time to complete would actually be so overwhelming to them. And whenever mahuli na silang mag-complete ng work, that would discourage them to keep going. So yun ang na-experience ko. Now, you know your students. Gauge them. Try to assess them kung sino yung kayang mas maraming work, sino yung konti lang, but they still do complete the work that's related to a lesson that you have been teaching. The second tip that I'm going to share with you today is use an online platform that is child-friendly.
Of course, pinakasikat dyan ang Google Classroom. Yan ba ang most effective for you, for your kids?
Google Classroom is a genius. I love it. Kaya lang, yung layout ng Google Classroom medyo seryoso. So, mas appealing siya doon sa mga kids who are already in upper grades. But with my students, they really love what I'm using. And I'm using Class Dojo. Kasi nga, very colorful yung layout. And in Class Dojo, meron silang mga avatars or monsters. Okay? And their monsters can gain points. And their monsters can also lose points. So, it's really a very good interface that really communicates with them at the same time. So, I'm able to communicate not just the lessons, I'm able to not just post in the wall, but I'm also able to let them know how they're doing through their avatars.
So you think Class Dojo avatars are more attractive for the kids? Tell us more. Ano ba yung iba pang good features ng mga avatars na yan?
Yung Class Dojo kasi, meron kasi siyang pie. No, it's a pie that's divided into different kinds of points that they get from the teacher. So another thing that you can do with tip number 2 is that you can create your own website. Okay? And isn't that fun? Na diretso sila sa website mo and they just click on, the different subjects that you're teaching or the different lessons that you have, and then they go straight to what you want to teach them. The third and last, something that is very important for very young learners, they love the feedback. They love to know if they're doing good or they love to know if they can still do more. Actually, ang mga bata, maliliit na ang mga bata, they just want to know if they did good, they didn't do good. Yun lang talaga ang alam nila. They want to know as soon as possible. So, what I love about Class Dojo is that you can right away give them a feedback. Okay? And what's my third tip? My third tip is be consistent with your rewards and consequences. You need to be able to communicate to them na they're doing good. O bigyan mo sila ng points. Yung avatar nila sa Class Dojo, bigla na lang magkakaroon ng points and they will see in what area they're doing good. And if they're not doing well, you can also take away points if you want to. Or bigyan nyo lang sila ng warning na hindi nila natapos yung work na dapat nilang gawin.
Thank you for those 3 tips. And the good thing is that you've tried and tested it. So ano pa po? Ano pang realizations na natutunan mo during this pandemic?
I have learned so much about myself as a teacher with remote learning. And my greatest mistake actually is assuming that everyone will transition smoothly from being in the classroom to being away from the classroom. I do honestly have overlooked the part na the way I was in the classroom would not be duplicated sa bahay. So even though they have their parents, nahirapan din yung parents to implement a routine sa bahay para magawa nila yung work. So at the beginning, I kept going online. I wanted to communicate with them. But later on, nawala na yung mga estudyante ko. And it took a lot of work to bring them back in para magkaroon kami ng live lesson. So, my mistake was assuming na kung ano may yung na-prepare ko, they can actually just do it at home. I realized as a mom and as a teacher, lalo na as a mom, when I was at home with my 8-year-old, marami pala akong nabigay na classwork they cannot do independently. So, watch out for that, okay? What happened with that was I had to have a meeting with the parents. We talked about it. I asked for their feedback. I asked them how they're doing with the homework, what they think about the lesson, what help they would need from me. And that really kind of put me in a spot where I understand better what's going on at home, what's going on with my remote learning.
So mahalaga pala ang parent communication. What are the points that we need to consider?
The meeting with the parents was so productive that it gave me a picture of what my students were going through at home. Actually, I was also experiencing it at home with my own son, who's an 8-year-old, who's a second grader. And when I started to feel overwhelmed with his work, I reflected on what I have been doing in my online classroom and ask for help from the parents on how I could make it better for them. So we came up with things that we agreed to do, and I'm very glad that I had parents who are very committed to making remote learning work. So I give it to the parents who helped me figure it out as a teacher, how my online classroom looks like inside their own homes. Kailangan pala natin we needed parents on our side. We need to listen to them kasi sila yung who are with our very young learners. Collaborating with the parents is one very beautiful lesson that I have learned this year. I may be the classroom teacher, but at home they are the teachers. So we need to work with them and listen to them if they are having a hard time or kung mas importante sa kanila ngayon ang maghanap buhay, mag-provide ng pagkain sa pamilya. I think we need to take into consideration then all those things and finding a way for them to understand that despite having to make that their priority, ang edukasyon ng kanilang mga anak is also as important as finding food and finding shelter.
Salamat, Olive. You are a great teacher and a parent also. And you made us understand things better because you have 2 perspectives from both worlds. Any final message?
I know we're doing a very challenging work here, but our dedication and our love for our students is going to see us through this. Isipin lang natin, this is a very temporary situation. Someday we will be back in the classroom with them again.
So there you have it. That's our episode for the day. We will have more teacher sharing in the future episodes. So again, be the first to get the good news. Subscribe and click the notification. See ya!